It's time for the next part of fixing up the car. Getting new shoes for the car. New tires. These tires are old. According to the date code on the side, they're about 25 years old. And this tire is 2 sizes smaller than the other 3. So I haven't driven it much over 60 miles an hour because these tires are old. But we're going to get that fixed today. Well, I got some of the work done. I repainted the needles on the gauges. I went to a Michael's store and spent a whole $4 on a good paintbrush to do it with. And I got a little bottle of Testors fluorescent orange enamel paint and used that for the paint. And this is a digital voltage regulator to replace the old electromechanical one, heating element one, that was in the cars from the factory. This regulates the voltage to 5 volts and keeps it there very reliably. Let's zoom in and look at these needles here. They just got 1 coat of paint on them. I put some pieces of paper behind the needles so it wouldn't get on the black part, and I painted them. And when I painted them, I thought, well, this is 1 layer, it looks really thin, and I'll have to paint some more layers on it. But once it dried, it looked really good. So 1 layer of paint, that's all it got, that's all it needed. They're nice and even, and that part's all set to go. Now I got this whole little jar of paint and nothing more to paint. This brush worked really well. I want to paint more stuff with it, but not on the car, because that's not how it came from the factory. Now I can reassemble the whole instrument cluster and get it ready to go in a car. I took apart the distributor and cleaned everything out with isopropyl alcohol, got all the old grease and gunk out of it, and now it's ready to reassemble. The car was running, but it wasn't quite right. It didn't have a lot of power, and the gas mileage was terrible. So I thought, hey, we haven't gone into the distributor yet. Get in there, clean it out, get that old grease and gunk out of there. That's probably all dried out. And then put it back together, fresh grease and or oil, and see if that runs better, and time it right. The timing was about 10 degrees retarded from where it should have been, which is around 6 or so advanced. And check the vacuum advance, check the mechanical advance, make sure it's all working right, and then maybe it'll run better. I have not taken apart a distributor in over 20 years. But once I opened it up, it was just like old times. I knew exactly what to do and how to take it apart and do everything. Saturday, April 19, time for part 3 of the Duster videos. And we've got a lot to update on. I haven't made a video for a while because it was winter. And with winter comes road salt. And with road salt, this car ain't going on the road. No way. It's got a little bit of rust, but it's not too bad. But I ain't gonna let it get worse. Made quite a few changes and improvements. Got the inspection sticker on the car. I drove it to work the last 2 days. And I'll tell you what, after 2 days driving this car, getting out of it, getting in my Tesla, that is a difference. On this seat, you sit on the seat. In my Tesla, you sit down in the seat. Under the hood, I've changed a few more bits and pieces. Put the final 1/4-inch copper vent line into the gas tank, because my other vent idea did not work too well without spilling gas. Got some more wiring out, those white wires from under the dash panel, and getting it cleaned up, testing this, adjusting that, getting it going good. We went to the car wash for the first time last week, so the sides and the firewall and everything is a little bit cleaner. Have to get more of that black stuff off there, but that'll happen over time. A few more car washes. Here is the replacement instrument panel in the car. The lights are working now. Most of the other things are working. Not everything. Got some more repairs to make. But it's getting better. The old glove box in these cars from the factory is made of cardboard. And a 52-year-old cardboard is very brittle. So I'm going to try to fabricate a new one using the old glove box cardboard as a pattern. Cut it out of some sheets of cardboard, fold it up, and see how close I can get it. The new speedometer is working and starting to read some miles for me. I got to do some work on the floor yet, get this all wire wheeled down, cleaned up, and sprayed for rust. I changed the seals on the windshield wiper posts to stop water from dripping down on the floor, and so far it seems to be working. Here's the old instrument panel that we took out of the car with the wrong speedometer on all these add-on gauges, an oil pressure gauge there and a vacuum gauge there that should not have been there. Look on the back, all this hackery that he had done, whoever owned this car before. This is the vacuum gauge. He cut the circuit board and RTV'd it all in there. Here's the oil pressure gauge. He got all silicone RTV'd in there too. The lights barely worked at all. They're a lot better now. I just did an oil change on the engine last week. The old oil had been in there from when I first got the car, and it sat throughout the winter, so I figured, it's time to change it. I did change the power steering pump a while back because the old one was always making noise. It was worn out and or damaged. But now I'm going to have to change the steering box down there. And it works. Only problem is the 52-year-old seal on the bottom of the output shaft drips power steering fluid. Not a surprise for a 52-year-old seal. So I went online to a place that rebuilds these things, and I got a new steering box, well, a rebuilt steering box ordered with one step firmer feel in the steering, plus a new pitman arm, plus new pressure and return hoses, plus the $200 core charge. So that was $895 on the card. And once I get the whole thing changed over, I'll send them back the old box and the old pitman arm, and they can give me $200 back at $895. This is one of the things that the previous genius and all his wiring did that made no sense. These relays operate the headlights. And these two white wires are where they get their power from. But these wires were all the way inside the car at the ammeter. Why are you tapping power from there when you could get it from the starter relay or the battery? So these wires are all folded up here for now. I'm going to cut them down and take all this extra wire out of here. This vacuum line from the vacuum gauge no longer needs to be in there. It was tapped off of the brake booster when it should be coming from the intake manifold. So when I redo it, if I redo it with a vacuum gauge, it'll be more accurate. And I got some other parts either at home or on the way, and I'm not yet sure if I will put them on or not. But we're doing pretty good. I think my top speed I've gotten to in this car so far is about 80 miles an hour. Wasn't really trying to go super fast yet. But we'll break 100 miles an hour eventually in this thing. Here's the copper tube that ran into the car for the oil pressure gauge. I just brought it back out here and I folded it up a few times and kinked it pretty hard so it wouldn't leak oil, and it hasn't dripped any oil. So we'll take care of that. I'll put a new oil pressure gauge in it eventually. And otherwise it's doing pretty good. I got a front end alignment done on the car. Actually a four-wheel alignment done on the car. And the guy, he was kind of like me in that he had the nerdy precision about him. And so he took the time to listen to what I had to say, how I wanted the angles set, zero camber, as much positive caster as possible, maybe a 1/16 of an inch toe in, whatever that translates to in degrees, and he did it. Only got about 1.5 degrees of positive camber. However, I was hoping for 3, but that's as far as the adjustment would go for us. But it's better than what it was. The car goes down the road a lot straighter and with less wandering all over the place than it did before. And without the negative camber wearing out the inside edge of the tires. That's why I didn't drive it too much until I got the alignment done. So I don't know if I'm going to do another video on the car or not. I have some other improvements planned for it, but I am not sure yet if I will do them or not. But this has been the 3-part video so far about taking it from straight out of storage to back on the road. Yeah, there's paint work and body work that needs done. Depending on how much people want to charge me for that, we'll see how much of that gets done. But it's not going to go on the road solid, and I'm not driving in the rainy days too much either. It's a nice car to ride around in once in a while. I don't know if I'd want to drive it every day, every week, every month, but you know, it's good for now and then. In the summertime, I need the AC in my Tesla. This car has air conditioning, but it needs to be recharged. And before I do that, I want to pull out the heater box, change the heater core, and at least clean out, if not change the AC evaporator. And that's all under the dash, so we'll see about that. And this is one more piece of electronic genius stuff that we pulled out of the car back behind the dashboard. This knob had the gray, this switch had the gray knob on it, and it was right under the fuel gauge in the old instrument panel. It turns and it pulls out. And I never knew what it was. And look at this amateur soldering in there. What a joke. We figured out what it was on the day I changed the instrument panel. It is a time delay mechanism for the windshield wipers, because this car came with 2-speed windshield wipers. And after I took this out, cut all the wires out of it, now I have 1-speed windshield wipers. They only work on high, and you have to turn the knob off just at the right time so the windshield wiper blades stop at the bottom of the windshield. Maybe it's just a bad switch. I'll figure it out. But I was not leaving this in the car.